Grand Theft Auto. Almost every gamer has heard of it. It has even created a whole new genre of video game. But here's a little fact that most of you probably didn't know. GTA almost never happened. The fact of the matter is that during GTA's development it was originally called Race and Chase, and was a top-down open world game where the player plays as either a criminal or a cop. The game received bad reviews during playtesting, except for one glitch. This particular glitch caused the police to ram the player's car off the road instead of just pulling them over normally. Playtesters thought this glitch was hilarious and would often abandon the missions just to play around and cause mayhem. Eventually, the developers decided to leave the glitch in and completely overhaul the game and rename it Grand Theft Auto. Space Invaders was developed by Tomohiro Nishikado in 1978 and had custom hardware built specifically to run the game, but during playtesting, Nishikado discovered that in the early levels, the aliens were moving slower than he wanted, thus making the game easier. This was because the hardware at the time was not strong enough to handle a large number of aliens on the screen at once, but as the game progressed and less aliens were on the screen at a time, they were able to increase in speed, thus increasing the difficulty of the game. Nishikado liked this effect so much that he decided to keep it in the game, and thus difficulty curves were born. Easter eggs. Almost every gamer has them, but where did they come from, and why? Well, they actually came from an angry Atari employee. You see, back in the 70s and 80s, Atari was a bad place to work, and most games were made by one person and they didn't get credit on the box. So adventure creator Warren Robinett decided to add his name in the game's code in a rather clever fashion. He did this by abusing a glitch called Sprite flickering, which would cause images to rapidly flash. Robinett created a 1-pixel square in the game that was the same colour as the floor, making it almost invisible, and if it was picked up by a player and brought to another part of the dungeon, players could intentionally trigger the sprite flickering. Then the players would be able to move through the dungeon wall and enter into a secret room with the text "Created by Warren Robinett" written on the floor. Thus the first Easter egg in video gaming was born. Fighting games. There are many of them in the world, and they are a very popular genre of video game. But who would have guessed that combos were almost never made? The story says that during development of Street Fighter II, producer Noritaka Funamizu discovered a glitch where players could use extra punches in the same move. Noritaka left the bug in the game thinking that it would be too hard for players to pull off, whilst also keeping it a secret from the rest of the development team. However, in not too much time, dedicated fans discovered this bug and started using it often, and because of this, instead of removing it, the developers started keeping track and rewarding a higher score for these combo attacks. Thus, combos in fighting games were born. Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA is a famous cheat code in many video games and originated from the NES game Gradius. But where exactly did it come from and why? Well, during playtesting, one of the programmers for the home port of the game sucked so bad at the game that in the end he said to himself, "Fuck it, I'm the programmer and I can do what I want." So he created a code that would give himself all of the power-ups in the game instantly. But when the game was released, he accidentally left the code in the game, and soon after fans of the game discovered the code, and now it is known as the famous Konami Code. That's it for this list, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.